Yo, what is up, LyfeSquad? Trending back here with another 801 Life vlog for you guys. It has been a while. I know I missed last Saturday. My life has been absolutely crazy. I am actually in a new home. I've had some crazy life situations happening with loved ones and whatnot, so I don't really want to get into any of that. I'm glad to make this video for you guys. I'm happy to have another one come out. I'm ready to get back to it, to keep up on every single Saturday, to have my videos come out for you guys. So today's video is going to be the sad truth about the C8 Zo6 Corvette. Now, something that is crazy, if you guys are watching this video, you guys are probably trying to figure out everything that everyone else is trying to figure out. When is it coming out? What's the price point? Are they gonna actually be available? You know, what are we looking at with the C8 Zo6 Corvette? Now, I had the opportunity to go, I went to a dealership just a couple days ago actually, and they had the Stingray like I have, and they had a Arctic white one just like mine, but they had the high wing spoiler on it, which I'll try and insert in this video, and it looks amazing, and I'm really starting to dig the look, and I think I might end up doing that on mine. We'll have to see, but I absolutely loved it, and it's literally looks exactly like my car, except it did have Vossen wheels, which would be sick to add to the car as well, and it had a little bit of a tint. But nonetheless, it was still the Arctic white with the black accents and a black spoiler. And the high wing, seriously, I'm starting to really dig the look. So I'm thinking we might have to go for that. Anyways, when I was there, I got to talk to a lot of the salesmen, the management, and I just asked them questions. You know, I just wanted to be honest and figure out, see if they actually had any real answers, or if they're kind of left in the dark just like everybody else. So I asked them, I said, you know, are you ever going to actually get a Zo6 to this location? And of course, this was just at one of the locations that I went to, and a lot of them basically gave me the same feedback and same input. I mean, it's kind of hard to explain, but we'll just start it off with this. The sad truth about it is it keeps getting delayed. Now, all of you guys know that. It was supposed to, I think it was, and I guess technically we aren't out of time yet, but I believe it's supposed to technically start production on like May 9th of this year, which that's only in like a week and a half from now. So, I mean, May 9th, I don't think that's ever gonna happen. I think it's gonna be later on this year, and we won't even see any actually hit the real markets until like September. And even then, it could even go past that. The main thing is, if you live in a state, I am from Utah, as you guys know, 801 Life. Make sure to hit that like button, subscribe. I really appreciate everything you guys do for me, and I'm looking to keep growing with you guys. Anyways, but I am from Utah, and the dealership I went to, they broke it down to me, and it's sad to hear, but because, I mean, the C8 Stingray, it was produced pretty well, people call it mass produced, if that's what you want to call it. But the Zo6 is definitely, I think it's going to be a limited one, and so do a lot of these dealerships. And the sad part about that is I asked him, I said, so if I were to get on your waiting list for a Zo6 Corvette, how long would it take? Now, you might have a dealership that, if you have a dealership that's a really big one that gets a ton of these Corvettes. I think California has some, obviously, like where they're actually made. You might be able to get a little bit luckier, but if you're from a state like me, I'm from Utah, we just have, we have dealerships, we have bigger ones, we have smaller ones, but even the bigger ones, supposedly, even on their allocation per year, they might only get 1 to 2 a year. And that's for obviously people building them. Obviously, you'll never be able to just buy one at the dealership. So unless someone backs up and then they mark it up like 60K. So regardless though, if you wanted to get one, more than likely, you are going to be on a waiting list for at least 5 years. And I'm not saying there are people out there willing to wait that long, and maybe it will be worth it. The only problem I have with that is just, they're coming out now, and we'll get into this in a later video, but they're coming out with the EV Corvette, the hybrid, and they also have the E-Ray, and eventually, it's going to be fully electric. So it's kind of crazy to think about it. I just don't know if that will ever actually be true and consistent, because GM has been delaying this, and it's just been a horrible process lately. So The sad truth about that one is if you're planning to get one, you want to get on a wait list, they only get 1 to 2 a year. They put 10 people, just 10 at that dealership. That puts you out potentially 5 to, up to 10 years if they only got 1 per year. So I just don't know if that's really going to be realistic for anyone trying to get put on a list. Other than that, I asked them, I said, do you have pricing? Do you have anything for it? They have no information. At least the dealerships I've gone to, they have no information. They have no release date. They have no anything, and it's kind of crazy. And they have people now that have tried to be like, hey, I want to be put on the list for the electric Corvette or the hybrid Corvette. So, I mean, these spots are just getting filled instantly. And I know when the Z6 first was ever announced, I believe, I can't remember what it was, but I know they did an event of some sort, and they had like 5,000 open slots that were filled within an hour or two. So, Z6, more than likely, I hate to break it to you, if you're not part of a wait list that you were guaranteed something, it's going to be a really long time if you ever plan to get one. And that's just kind of the unfortunate reality of it. So, personally, I'd recommend, here's the thing, the Z6, everyone wants one, and I don't know if it's for necessarily bragging rights, the performance, or just overall, I don't know, maybe that's just where your real budget is, and you just want to get the best one that's out there. And of course, nothing wrong with Z6. Z6 will be absolutely amazing when it actually is able to come out. That's just the main problem right now. But that is why I would highly suggest just get the Stingray if you're not really looking to push the car to its limits. You're not going to go to the track. You're not going to go try and do crazy things with it and see what the car is actually made to do. Because the performance, it's so good that I don't know if anyone that's looking they want to keep it in the garage, never drive it. Yes, there's always a point in getting the Z6, but there's no point in waiting 5-10 years if you can't even get the car. Go for the Stingray. The Stingray is still going to be an amazing car, and maybe a lot of you guys have one and you just want to upgrade, and that totally makes sense as well. But I highly recommend I don't know if necessarily trying to be put on a list and just hope that everything goes okay, because I've been seeing a lot of horror stories out there that people that have signed up for the Z6 Corvette have been put on the waiting list. They've gotten calls from their dealerships, months after being put on that list, and they said, hey, just to let you know, because of the demand, we're going to give between MSRP and fair market value, which is ridiculous because the fair market value, we all know, is up to the sky right now. So I have a feeling even if you were told, hey, yes, you should be able to get this for MSRP, and there are dealerships, I'm not saying all of them, some of them will honor that. You just have to find the right ones. You might have to call around to a ton of them, go to other places that are farther away from you, and maybe you'll get lucky. But nonetheless, there's a lot of horror stories out there right now that people are calling, and dealerships are calling them back, telling them, hey, we're going to have to do this because of the high demand. And it's their car still, so technically, if they really wanted to, they could tell you, hey, this is the price of the car. If you don't want it, someone's going to go buy it the next day. So it's really unfortunate that it has to be like this, but it's how it's been since the base Stingray came out. So nonetheless, I would still suggest just go for the Stingray. You have a lot better chance of getting MSRP and getting it a lot quicker, because even the dealerships in Utah and even the smaller ones, I think even they are still getting about 15 a year, maybe even 20. So I'd say personally, and that was just one dealership, go for the Stingray if you're not looking to push the car to its limits and you're not really necessarily the most patient person. So I think that's kind of self-explanatory, but that's just kind of my idea on it. The other thing is, I guess this is kind of a personal preference, but I love having an engine car. I understand electric, and I get, there's a lot of good things to it, especially with gas prices right now. It might be kind of nice. Nonetheless, I love having a proper engine that has a great sound to it. And I just think there's going to be, and I think a lot of the Corvette owners are also going to like the engine better, just because that's what they were born into. It's what they were raised with. And obviously there are going to be a ton of people out there that love the electric. They're going to be astonished and blown away, and I probably still will be as well. But I love the engine side of it. So I mean, I say get the Stingray, but if you can wait it out, or you've been, given a guarantee of a Z06, if you've been on a list for months already, then you might have a chance of getting it. But the sad truth about it is it's just extremely hard to ever actually get the Z06, especially if you live in states that don't have these huge dealerships with big connections that get really big allocations. Let alone the price. Like I said, you might hear, yeah, you should get this price. The car comes in, they raise it, you say no, and bam, you never got the car. So Z06, absolutely going to be an amazing car. Performance is top of the line. It's going to blow away Lamborghinis and Ferraris. That's just me. Just wait till they come out, and I think it's going to back me up, but we'll see when we get there. Nonetheless, great car. Nothing wrong with it, absolutely. But if I had to choose, like if I were you guys and you just want to have the new Corvette, I say go for the Stingray. See what happens. I think you guys will be surprised with how good it actually is. And I still need to make a video on, is the C8 a supercar, a sports car, American muscle sports car? There's a whole bunch of different things people are calling it, and it makes sense. I mean, I can see all sides of all of it, but nonetheless, I'd still like to give my opinion eventually. The Z06 is definitely going to be one of the most popular cars, I think, ever. Like, you think of the base Stingray that just came out, in 2020, those were literally the hottest car on the market, an affordable super sports car, and it went to the mid-engine, the body of it. I really do think the Z06 is going to change the game. That's why it's hard for, I understand people like, I want to wait for it. I'll wait for it. I don't care if I have to wait 3 or 5 years. All of those non-guaranteed factors that, to me personally, make it such a big risk to really wait and hopefully just hope that you can get your hands on one. Overall, is it worth the wait? Do you think it will actually go smoothly, get the price you want? Let me know what you guys think in the comments below. But I think just like that, this video is over, and we're out.